Hello, Patriots, and welcome back to the Patriot Dad channel where we can discuss current events and modern issues, all while keeping it as real as possible. Today, I wanted to bring you an update. Turns out, Joe Biden and Karine Jean-Pierre and his entire administration lied because Joe Biden just pardoned his son Hunter for all crimes committed in the last 11 years. If you think this is just to help Hunter, you'd be mistaken because this also helps out Joe because the less they dig into Hunter and his family, the less they dig into Joe. But before we get started, I just wanted to let you know that during the ramp up to the 2024 election, the Rogue Dermatologist and the Patriot Dad channel are collaborating to bring you another great deal. In remembrance of the attempt on Trump's life, if you follow the link to trumpmug24.com, it'll take you straight here. Scroll down, add it to your cart, go to checkout, enter the code PDMUG, and you'll save 20%. Take advantage of this offer while it's still available. Now, back to the video. I'd also like to pull up a couple of articles showing the unequal application of the law and the fact that we do in fact have a two-tiered justice system in this country, in my opinion, because there are professionals whose opinion it is that we do not, or that it is based on things like race. I will present my argument that I think it's more based on political affiliation, but I'll make that argument when we get there. So you can see here, Joe Biden makes history as the first president to pardon his criminal son. Joe Biden spent his final days in office rolling out a full and complete pardon of his criminal son, Hunter Biden. "I will not pardon him," Joe Biden said in June after a jury found him guilty on 3 federal gun charges. NBC News reported on the pardon that the decision marks a reversal for the president, who has repeatedly said he would not use his executive authority to pardon his son or commute his sentence. The pardon comes ahead of Hunter Biden's December 12th sentencing for his conviction on federal gun charges. Now, this is a surprise to nobody. Even when he told us, and even when Karine Jean-Pierre told us that he was not going to pardon him, we all knew that was a lie. But you know what? Tim Pool had a really good take on this. Tim Pool said that he would prefer this go all the way to the Supreme Court, and I tend to agree with him because the federal form that he lied on to get these criminal charges is a violation of your Fifth Amendment. You are required to self-incriminate based on your status, whether or not you are addicted to an illegal narcotic substance. I don't know too many other places where the government requires you to self-incriminate in order to maintain one of your rights. So I would have very much liked to see this go to the Supreme Court, but now it never will. At least, not for this case. And then, like I said, do we have a two-tiered justice system in the United States? Well, Kamala Harris herself said yes. So you can see here that on CNN, it's reported that Kamala Harris said we do have 2 systems of justice in America. Now, what does she mean? The first, I don't think that most reasonable people who are paying attention to the facts would dispute that there are racial disparities in a system that is engaged in racism in terms of how the laws have been enforced, said Harris. Now, this means she thinks the two-tiered justice system is based entirely on race. I disagree with this. Now, there may be some areas of the country where there are racial disparities in how the law is applied, and that is unfortunate, and we should look to stamp that out. But here, Bill Barr, the nation's top law enforcement official, at least at the time, dismissed the idea of a two-tier justice system in an interview. I think we have to be a little careful about throwing the idea of racism around. I don't think it is as common as people suggest. Now, I didn't think I was going to agree with Bill Barr on very much, but on that, I agree with him. Let's look at some instances where there has been severe unequal application of the law. Back in July, Steve Bannon had to report to federal prison for a 4-month sentence for defying a congressional subpoena. What's weird about this? Hunter Biden defied a Republican subpoena that he testify in private. Or how about that the Justice Department said it is not going to prosecute Merrick Garland after his contempt of Congress vote when he defied a subpoena himself? How is it that we can hold a private citizen responsible for something and then turn around and not hold another private citizen or a member of the administration responsible for the exact same thing? If you defy a congressional subpoena, per the precedent that was set by Steve Bannon's imprisonment, Hunter Biden and Merrick Garland should both go to prison for at least 4 months. Don't you think? If there was equal application under the law and the 14th Amendment applied, which guarantees equal protection of the laws for all citizens and prohibits states from depriving a person of life, liberty, or property without due process. What happens when it's not the states, but the federal government that is depriving citizens of their things or their freedom without due process? And then selectively deciding to not enforce the same thing on others. So in this instance, all parties were white. There is an unequal application of the law, and it is not based on race. It is entirely based on what appears to be political affiliation, because Steve Bannon worked under President Trump and is a Republican, whereas Hunter Biden and Merrick Garland are both Democrats. How about where we have two other white people that are dealing with the same issue but are treated very differently? The Justice Department went after former President and soon-to-be President-elect Donald Trump for his confidential documents case. Now, in this case, he was the president at the time. He had declassification authority. He was in possession of documents that the archives wanted back. Great. He said they weren't classified anymore. The government disagreed, and they had Jack Smith file charges for being in possession of classified materials after he was out of office. Now, when there was a ruling dismissing those charges, the Justice Department even appealed that case. They wanted to go after Trump so badly that they appealed a dismissal. Funny thing, they also ruled that President Joe Biden, who at the time was vice president and did not have declassification authority for the material that was found in his possession, they decided that he wouldn't be charged, citing poor memory. So at the same time that they were gaslighting us, telling us that Joe Biden is perfectly okay to run for office, he should not be 25th Amendment out. Nothing of the sort. He is great. He is sharp as a tack. But then they don't charge him for the exact same thing that they just went after President Trump for. They just decide his memory is not good enough. Again, two white people, same rules, very different outcome. Based on what? Trump is a Republican, a very unconventional Republican, but still a Republican. And Biden, well, he's a Democrat. So the only conclusion I can come to is if you want to violate the law, do it as a Democrat, because if you're a Republican, they are going to throw the book at you. Does this make sense to you folks? Do you think that the two-tier justice system is actually race-based, or is it class-based? Is it politics-based? Because we've also seen celebrities get away with things that no average citizen like you and me would get away with. They get light slaps on the wrist. They get cases dismissed. Look at Harvey Weinstein and the allegations against him. Look at Kevin Spacey and the allegations against him. Look at Alec Baldwin and what happened on the Rust movie set. If any of those things happened to any of us, do you honestly think that we would not be in jail right now? Because I don't think that. So whether it's class-based, whether it's politics-based, two-tier justice exists. The big problem, though, we can't have a two-tier justice system and have people maintain faith in that system. Two-tier justice erodes the public confidence in the justice system and will eventually lead to its unraveling. We can't have that, folks. We're supposed to be a nation of laws. If those laws are irrelevant and mean nothing, are we even a nation anymore? Can we act as a cohesive civilization without the rule of law? I would argue no. And we saw some of that in the summer of love. Again, the Democrats getting away with literal murder, because what happened in Chaz Chop, never saw anyone get charges for that stuff. Did you? They took over entire sections of a city. People were killed. At least one Trump supporter was shot in the street. And what happened? In a lot of these big cities, the people that got arrested sued the city and won. So we really need to restore one system of justice. And I really hope that we can get Kash Patel confirmed to be the director of the FBI, because we need people like Kash in places in the Department of Justice and in the FBI and other law enforcement agencies to restore the public confidence. What do you guys think? Are you confident in the current system? Do you think it needs changes? Let me know what you think down in the comments. Thank you very much to those of you that made it to the end of this video. I greatly appreciate your support. If you're looking for other ways to support the channel, please look down in the links in the description below. You can take advantage of either offer ongoing with the Rogue Dermatologist. You can also use our promotion code when purchasing coffee brand coffee. I highly recommend you check them out. It is one of my favorite coffees. In fact, Until just a few minutes ago, I was still drinking it here 10 o'clock at night. Hey, I'm a veteran. I drink coffee all day. What can I say? If you're looking for a free way to support the channel, you can like the video, you can comment on the video, you can share the video with friends and family, and you can subscribe to the channel. All of these things help out with the algorithm, and I thank you in advance for your support. You can also head over to the Discord and join the conversations going on there, or come over to X, follow me there, join the conversations going on there, and subscribe for $1. If you have a recommendation for a topic, discussion, or reaction you want to see on the channel, please make sure to leave it in a comment below, and I will get to it as soon as I can. I hope you all have a wonderful week. Take care of yourselves, and God bless. Go ahead and check out one of the links on the screen now to either subscribe to the channel and see the rest of the videos of the channel, or one of the carefully selected videos that you may wish to see that YouTube has used its algorithm to select for you.